My name is Jose Tapia. I am the head counselor for HS2's Irvine branch. Today, I'm going to be providing an overview into the Cal State system while diving into the top 10 Cal State universities and some of the opportunities they provide. We'll save some time towards the end of the presentation for Q&A as per usual. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first things first, why do we want to, consider Cal State University as a solid option for our future plans? So one of the distinct features of the Cal State universities is that they have a very strong emphasis on practical, career-based learning to develop job-ready skills right out of the gate, right? So, this is in contrast to the UC's mission, which is much more grounded in theory, providing a stronger foundation for students to work their way up towards higher education, right? So again, both very valid paths, but really comes down to, the desire for both the student and the families and what they're looking for in terms of career paths. Another distinct benefit is affordability. So many of these Cal States are lauded by various publications, Money Magazine, Forbes, for their affordability comparable to their quality of education. So below we have an estimate of the upcoming tuition costs for 2025. We can see that Cal State, the average Cal State is going to cost roughly $6,450. This is pulled straight from their estimated financial website. For UCs, we're looking closer to 14,900. So as we can see, it's an over double the cost for just looking at tuition costs alone. In terms of this preparation for workplace right out of college, a lot of that is facilitated by the numerous connections that these universities have with local employers and providing internship opportunities. The reason being that these are very large universities with huge alumni networks and have long-standing relationships with local employers, right? So Bay Area, Irvine area, and so on, throughout California. Another aspect is their commuter-friendly nature. So again, this is something highly beneficial for families looking to save costs, right? The colleges can be quite expensive. And this is facilitated by Cal State's providing numerous accommodations like additional parking to more flexible class schedules that can help commuter students. Now, one negative aspect of this, though, is that a lot of these commuter universities end up having less cohesive school spirits. So if you're looking for more of that campus feel and community, that's probably something more common to traditional universities. Another aspect is the practical degree programs offered there. So again, Cal State's mission is job readiness and to provide that workforce for the state of California. UCs have up to 870 degree programs through their entire system, whereas Cal State's provide closer to 4,100 degree programs. And this is in many areas from agricultural sciences, a wider variety of nursing programs, RN, DNP, BSN, to manufacturing, engineering, teaching, and so on. Another benefit is the simple application. So one of the ease of applying to the Cal States is that there is no supplemental essays that the students need to write, or essays of any kind, no recommendation letters, no interview process, and much like the UC's, no testing. And we'll take a bit of an overview and peek into the admissions process shortly. So here's a list of the top Cal State universities we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be looking at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, often lauded as one of the best Cal States and one of the top polytechnical universities in the state. San Diego State, Long Beach State, Cal Poly Pomona, another polytechnical school, San Jose State, Fullerton, Fresno, San Francisco State, Los Angeles, and Northridge. So first, a sneak peek into the admissions process. So this upcoming application cycle will be from October 1st, 2025 to December 1st, 2025. So again, still down the line, but coming up sooner than you'd think. Now, despite this application window, it's important to note that applications are received and decisions are made on a rolling basis, right? So this is distinct from the UCs, which have a more regular timeline for admissions decisions closer to February and March typically. So you're actually encouraged to try and submit earlier in this application window to not only have a better chance, but also hear back about your admission decision much sooner, which can provide a lot more comfort and security, especially for those who are looking at the Cal States as a viable alternative to the UCs and other colleges that they're applying to. So in terms of admission requirements, Cal State's A through G is quite close to the UCs. I'll point out a couple slight differences here and there. So first things first, in terms of history and social science, we see the one semester history and civics quite similar to the UCs. But for social science, it's quite open. UCs typically specify that students need to complete 1 year of a world history or culture or geography as part of that other social science, but for the Cal States, it's a bit more open-ended. In terms of English and math, pretty much identical. 4 years of English, 3 years minimum for math, 4 recommended. In terms of science, 2 years, right? So identical. But here we can see that the Cal States are a little bit more specific. They specify that they do want students to take 1 year of a biological science and 1 for physical. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Most students do take, biological science or living earth in their first couple years of high school. But if not, many integrated science courses can meet either one of these requirements. In terms of foreign language, 2-year minimum or up to the 2nd level. So this is a distinction that a lot of students and parents miss, and is the same is true for the UCs as well. It's not 2 years physical. It can also be up to the 2nd level. So for students who elect to take, AP Chinese, for instance, they could complete all 2 years of this requirement in one go. Visual performing arts. So 1 year required, and note that if you're electing to do 2 separate semesters, this needs to be in the same discipline. So for instance, a student cannot do 1 semester of dance and 1 semester of music. It needs to be in a, the same discipline path. Now, they don't have to be consecutive, mind you. You can take, a semester each for 2 academic years, for instance, and it would still meet the requirements. Last but not least, the college prep elective. There are some designated elective choices that students can take, or any classes taken in excess of the minimum requirement can also meet this elective class. So for instance, if a student did more foreign languages than the 2 years required, that can also meet the college preparatory elective requirement. In terms of GPA, how eligibility is calculated, much like the UCs, courses, grades after 9th grade are going to be assessed for the eligibility mark. So even though UCs and Cal States will only calculate 10 through 11, they're still going to ask you to input your 9th grade courses, as we'll see in a second. Now, in terms of the minimum eligibility to apply to the Cal States, we're seeing a 2.5 GPA for any California residents. This jumps up to 3.0 for any non-California residents. So for any out-of-state students or students who are technically not classified as a California resident, this GPA demand will be much higher. So again, this is the minimum GPA to apply and be eligible for consideration at the Cal States. As we'll see in a second, it's, you'll typically want a much higher GPA, especially if you're trying to vie for some of the more competitive Cal States or some of the more competitive majors. So SAT and ACT will not be considered whatsoever for admission purposes. So again, much like UCs, they're going to be completely test blind. So again, this is another saving grace for students wanting to consider the Cal States who, may not have the time or capability to do standardized testing. Now, looking at the application itself, besides your basic personal profile, the application will ask you to input some financial information, household size, gross income, parents' level of education. But I want to point out that this won't be influencing your financial aid package. So we can even see in the application itself that they note that this is only used for statistical purposes and won't affect your financial aid package. You still need to submit an actual FAFSA or CSS profile application to determine scholarship and financial aid eligibility. At most, this information will be utilized for things such as fee waivers. So for any students who are of lower income, based on the information provided here, that you may receive a waiver for the application cost to submit the Cal State application. Okay, so in terms of course entry, fairly straightforward. Students will be asked to submit their grades, even from 9th grade forward, all the way to their in-progress classes in senior year. So it is important to note that any math or foreign language completed in middle school, much like the UCs, they can be taken into consideration to complete A through G eligibility. So if your student, or child and daughter completed, say, Spanish in middle school and jumped to Spanish 2 in freshman year in high school, they can take both courses and completely meet the foreign language requirement. Now, students are going to be asked to simply present the grades in the 9th grade section here. But again, if you're worried about middle school transcripts or whatnot, they're not going to be asking for those transcripts. They just want to see completion and that you've passed the credits. And more often than not, they'll know that you've passed the course by virtue of the fact that you're placed into a higher level math or foreign language in 9th grade. Okay, so another aspect of the application is the extracurricular section. Much more reduced as compared to the UCs, which often ask you to list up to 20 different awards and activities. So again, as we can see here, the basis of admission at the Cal State level is not so much weighted on testing, extracurriculars, and so on. Well, they may consider it slightly. It's largely going to be the student's GPA and course rigor that's going to be the basis for their acceptance. So in this section, we see that they're merely asked to present number of hours committed to certain kinds of activities, which it's really difficult to glean too much information from that alone. So looking into acceptance rates and stat lines at these Cal State universities, what I have here are the 2024 data, because currently the 2025 common data sets are not yet available. As we can see, schools like Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo have, again, fairly rigorous standards, right? 3.9 GPA average, fairly selective as well, 30%, which is consistent with, some of the top UCs. San Diego State as well, another strong school, CSU Long Beach. And then we get to schools like Pomona, San Jose State, which are a bit more generous. And lastly, Fresno, Los Angeles, and so on, with far easier GPA averages and much more selective rates. But it's important to note, despite what these GPAs might indicate, at any university that students are applying to, we have to take into consideration the major that they're applying with. What I have here is Cal Poly San Luis Obispo's freshman profile for 2024. So here we can see a breakdown by the college. We can see a range of admitted GPAs and even the number of students who applied and were selected. So as we can see for engineering, much higher weighted GPA ranges as compared to the 3.9 we saw earlier. And in terms of students, the acceptance rate, closer to 20%. For business, right, fairly similar, 4.04 instead of 4.14. And in terms of acceptance rate, closer to around 27%. For science and math, we have closer to 28%. So again, at these top Cal State universities, major is still going to be fairly impacted. Just regional. So for instance, San Diego State, one of the top regional and public universities for business, considered in the top 77. And even though schools like Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, and Pomona are polytechnical schools and very STEM oriented, they also have top-notch business programs as well. Moving on to engineering, as you can see, a number of these Cal State University have excellent programs in engineering. A number of them are ranked by virtue of no doctorates being offered. So it's a different category from many of the national universities where they have much more graduate level offerings. But again, that's still not necessarily a slight in terms of their opportunities and the strength of their programs. As we can see, even San Diego State, it's the sole exception here. Their program is ranked on the same level as many of the national universities and UCs at 98. So for computer science, as expected, polytechnical schools like Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and schools in the Bay Area like San Diego State, San Jose, or San Diego State and San Jose State also have really strong programs. Cal Poly Pomona, again, another strong polytechnical school, ranked 126 overall. Another strong aspect for the Cal State universities are their BSN nursing programs. So not only are you going to find a wider range of nursing degrees at the UC, at the Cal States as compared to the UCs, a lot of these Cal State universities have exceptional programs in the bachelor's for nursing, BSN, whereas only UCLA and UC Irvine have offerings in a traditional BSN program. So as we can see, Cal State Los Angeles, San Diego State have exceptional programs, and schools like Long Beach, Bakersfield also have fairly solid programs. They are ranked the #1 regional university West by US News. So again, this is the classification for a lot of the regional public universities. Oh, okay. Apologies, there might have been some latency there. So let me just repeat that. So Cal Poly San Luis Obispo ranked #1 for regional universities West. So this is going to be separate from the larger category of national universities, but still quite impressive considering how populous the state of California is and the number of universities there. Once again, very strong undergraduate engineering programs, albeit with no doctorate, and many strong programs in a variety of other engineering programs from civil engineering, computer engineering, aerospace engineering, and mechanical engineering. Once again, strong programs in business, computer science, economics, and some other popular majors that they offer are in the area of animal sciences, agricultural sciences, biology, and construction management. So some facts about Cal Poly. It was founded in 1901, and it is the oldest of the three polytechnical schools. The three being San Luis Obispo, the Cal States, but this comes the largest campus of any university in the state of California. Now, as suspected, this additional space is great for the agricultural sciences, but it also facilitates their hands-on practical learning. And in fact, their motto is learn by doing. And we see this prevalent from just the way the classes are structured, the extra lab opportunities, to utilizing that large space that Cal Poly provides to do engineering projects, agricultural projects, launch satellites, you name it. So one fun fact is there is actually a 9-acre space on campus, as we can see below, called the Architectural Graveyard. So students take full advantage of that huge campus and huge facilities at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to do plenty of hands-on projects and learn from doing. Next, San Diego State. So San Diego State is actually ranked on a national level. The reason being they have excellent programs in business. They also are a fantastic research university. They're also ranked 13th overall in terms of international business on a national level. Strong programs in engineering, computer science, economics, as well as nursing and psychology. Founded in 1897, this is the third oldest in the Cal State system. Recently, San Diego State has been given the R1 designation in recognition of its high level of research and doctorate production. This is a designation given to universities across the country by the Carnegie classification and measure things for like number of papers produced to funding and so on. So as we can see, a large part of San Diego's national ranking is because they're the sole R1 designated university in the Cal State system. The campus is also a juggernaut in D1 athletics, boasting strong programs in basketball, baseball, and has even produced several gold-winning Olympians. So some interesting opportunities in their business program. They do offer a 4+1 international business, BA plus master's in global business. And their School of Business also features the ZIP Launchpad to help entrepreneurial students facilitate their startup dreams. So Cal State Long Beach. They're actually tied with San Diego State as the 109th overall national university. Excellent programs in engineering, number 4 in aerospace, civil engineering, 8 in computer engineering, and number 17 in mechanical engineering. They also have solid programs in psychology, nursing, very well known for their fine arts program, business, computer science, and economics. The university was founded in 1949 by Governor Earl Warren. At 322 acres, it's the second largest Cal State campus, and they have the distinction of being designated a R2 research university. So part of that strong research emphasis comes from ties and connections to corporations like Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and many of their facilities and programs are facilitated by these two. As such, Cal State Long Beach is a powerhouse in aerospace with their Space Beach Initiative and Beach Rocket Lab, where students are, taking part in numerous projects, launching rockets, launching satellites. As mentioned earlier, Cal State Long Beach does have an excellent fine arts program. They have a nationally recognized contemporary arts museum and have produced luminaries like Steven Spielberg, Darren Carpenter throughout the decades. interesting to note, the Walter Pyramid that we saw earlier is one of the few modern pyramid structures in the United States, and is actually a 4,000 seat arena for the Cal State Long Beach basketball and volleyball team. Cal State Long Beach also features a unique shark lab, again, one of the few in the state of California, and they conduct research into marine life, tracking over 300 sharks over the last decade, while also offering tours, exhibits, events, and research opportunities for students. Next, Cal Poly Technical State Pomona, ranked number 3 overall for the Regional Universities West, number 10 in undergraduate engineering, 4th in aerospace, civil engineering, computer science, and mechanical engineering, while also offering really strong programs in computer science, business, psychology, and economics. The school was founded in 1938, and it is the largest of the Cal State Polytechnical Universities by enrollment at 27,000 students. They're also the only Cal State to offer what's called an engineering technology focus, providing 2 programs in electronic systems engineering, as well as electromechanical systems engineering. Much like Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, Pomona shares that motto of learn by doing. And so most recently, they started this year a grant-funded micro-internship program with goals to expand it to 1,500 students. So what this program provides, they're looking to give students short but flexible paid internships that are highly specific and highly project-oriented throughout the year. So again, a lot of accommodations and features here that emphasize the practical nature of the Cal States and particularly the polytechnical schools. Another interesting fact, the WK Kellogg Arabian Horse Center is a research facility that specializes on equine studies, breeding, and research. This points to some of the origins of the university where, Kellogg donated his 900-acre ranch to the university, and with the promise that they would continue to utilize it for education and research. Another interesting fact, Cal Poly Pomona, in collaboration with San Luis Obispo, created the first Cal Poly Rose float in 1949, and a fun, long-standing tradition is for float builders to hide somewhere within the float a spoon. Now, the origins of this tradition or myth have long been lost to history, but it's still a fun tradition for students to try and find this little Easter egg spoon on their floats. Next, San Jose State, ranked number 4 regionally in University West. Also excellent programs in engineering, civil engineering, number 9 in computer engineering, and number 14 in mechanical. Solid programs once again in computer science and business. So you see multiple schools once again tied for business here, while also offering solid programs in nursing, psychology, and economics. Founded in 1857, this is the oldest public university in California. They've also been given the honor to be designated as an R2 research university for their level of production in this regard. In particular, San Jose State offers numerous research and internship opportunities through their NASA Ames Center, Google, Adobe, and the Moss Landing Marine Laboratory, one of the other few shark labs in the country as well. San Jose State also has a longstanding human systems integration partnership with NASA. In fact, many of the students and faculty work collaboratively with NASA scientists to develop systems for improving safety and efficiency of air and space travel. As a result of this, many Silicon Valley companies are very familiar with San Jose State and Actually, a number of these companies employ more graduates from San Jose State than from any other university. So one fun fact about the campus is that, again, being a much older university and tradition being very important here, students over the years have donated various bells and chimes to the campus, and their famous Westminster chimes are rung every 15 minutes and play the same tone as London's Big Ben. Cal State Fullerton. So Fullerton is ranked number 136 overall nationally. So again, national ranking, not just regional West. Also have very strong programs in engineering, civil, computer, and mechanical engineering. Important to note that they also have very strong nursing, business, computer science, psychology, and economics programs. Founded in 1957, they are the largest total enrollment of any Cal State at roughly 41,000 students. They're also given the honor of being a R2 research university, and their College of Business and Economics is actually the largest accredited business school on the West Coast and second largest in the United States overall. As a result of this, they have also excellent programs in communications to help facilitate those business programs, as well as visual and performance. Aetna, Amazon, and accounting firms like Deloitte and BDO. Cal State Fresno. Fresno is the 179th overall national university ranked by US News, ranked 44 in undergraduate engineering, with respectable programs in nursing, business. They're also well known for criminology, social work, education, and agricultural sciences. The school was originally founded in 1911 as the Fresno Normal School, a school designated for providing teaching credentials. And again, many of the Cal States actually share this heritage of originally being a normal school, and they continue this role in providing some of the majority of the teaching credentials for the state of California. R2 Research University, they're also a school that benefits quite well from a smaller student faculty ratio, which provides a lot more opportunities for things like personalized attention, faculty mentoring. The campus is situated in the heart of San Joaquin Valley. As such, Fresno State is a powerhouse when it comes to agricultural sciences. One really interesting detail is that the university has one of the first of its kind campus winery. So this provides excellent opportunities for students who are very business minded or pursuing agricultural studies to intern, find even part-time work at the campus winery. And several students have even been recognized over the years with awards for the wines that they produce. The campus also features a on-campus planetarium with state-of-the-art digital projection systems where they can see the night sky, look at various celestial phenomenon, and there are even presentations on astronomy and space exploration from faculty. San Francisco State University. So San Francisco has been ranked number 204 overall by US News. Excellent programs in nursing, solid programs in undergraduate engineering, psychology, computer science, as well as for business. The university was founded in 1899, also has been designated R2 Research University by Carnegie Classifications. Interesting to note that they're the first in the country to offer the Ethnic Studies College in the country. Interesting to note that the school also offers an extensive scholar program with 37 blended programs for accelerated master's degrees. So in particular, they have excellent joint degree programs like their bachelor's and master's in electrical engineering, as well as their business admin plus accountancy masters. Many of the students are able to start these programs as early as their junior year, really completing that master's degree at a much accelerated time frame. Being located in the Bay Area, San Francisco State also has numerous connections with local employers, and some of the top employers for their graduates include the likes of Amazon, Meta, Genentech, Goldman Sachs, Google, and Microsoft. Cal State University, Los Angeles. So CSU Los Angeles is ranked number 15 overall in Regional University West. They're also very strong in engineering, ranked 30th overall for undergraduate engineering, ranks 11th in civil engineering, 11th in computer engineering, 15th in mechanical, while also having strong programs in business, psychology, computer science, as well as nursing. The school was founded in 1947 and actually features one of the oldest forensic science programs in the country. The Hertzberg Davis Forensic Science Center is the largest municipal regional collaborative crime center in the US and integrates crime labs from both the LA Police Department and the LA County Sheriff's Department. The university also has been designated a R2 university, R2 research university. Only 8 Cal State universities have the R2 designation, and only San Diego has the R1 designation, as I mentioned previously. Cal State LA also features the hydrogen research and fueling facility, which was one of the first to sell hydrogen by the kilogram to the public. The university is one of the leaders nationally in the research and use of zero-emission vehicles. Last but not least, Cal State Long Beach, or Cal State LA's Biospace Center features a 20,000 square foot wet lab that provides internships, resources for and resources for entrepreneurs to develop life science ventures and collaborate with partners like USC, Caltech, and City of Hope. Last but not least, Cal State University Northridge. Northridge has been ranked 18th overall in Regional West. Strong programs in engineering, 44 overall. Solid programs in business, psychology, computer science, as well as nursing. The school was founded in 1958, and Cal State Northridge has the 4th largest student body amongst any Cal State. The school offers a BA JD joint degree with Southwestern Law School, allowing students to complete a bachelor degree and law degree in 6 years instead of 7. The university also features a National Center on Deafness, which provides resources and even assistance to some of its undergraduate students, such as providing translation help, other accommodations. The center also hosts annual conferences recognizing research and leadership in disability and technology. Cal State Northridge ARCS is a research center funded by NASA. They were given a $3 million grant to create ARCS and establish interdisciplinary research that collaborates with NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center and Jet Propulsion Lab to study artificial intelligence and automation. One fun fact about the university is that many movies and TV shows have been filmed here, from Karate Kid, Star Trek, and The Office. Fun little factoid. So once again, we want to thank you for listening in and want to once again share that HS2 is committed to excellence in helping students over the years to reach the school of their dreams. Over the decade, we've helped students with a number of amazing acceptances, even garnering over $1 million in scholarship. So just a reminder about some upcoming opportunities. On the 26th, so tomorrow, we will be hosting a seminar. So our vice president, my brother Patrick, will be hosting a seminar for middle school and high school students and parents. And as well on the 26th, we will have a financial seminar to help for financial planning to help your children plan for their financial future in college. Last and through the nonprofit Compassionate Scholars. Many students have even created new projects over the years. For instance, my student actually just this summer initiated a project to tutor children in orphanages in China.